When you first start SAP Crystal Reports 2008, you'll notice the Start a New Report section on the Start page. There are 4 wizards here: the Report Wizard for generic reports, and wizards for crosstabs, mailing labels, and OLAP Cube reports. You can find the same 4 wizard options on the File New pull-down menu. There are the 4 wizards. And notice that the Standard Report wizard can also be started with a toolbar button. Since I just want to create a generic report, I'm going to use the Standard Report wizard, and I'll use the toolbar button to start it. The Standard Report Creation wizard starts with the Data screen. Notice the My Connections and Create New Connection folders. Since I don't want to use any previously used database connections, I'll expand the Create New Connection folder to see all the different types of data Crystal Reports 2008 can connect to. It's a pretty extensive selection. Very often, you'll want to write a report from an industry standard database, such as Oracle or Microsoft SQL Server. There are several methods of connecting to these databases, namely ODBC, which requires a little bit of advanced configuration, or OLADB, which can be used right away. I'm going to connect to a Microsoft SQL Server database via OLADB, so I'll expand the OLADB folder, choose the Microsoft OLADB provider for SQL Server, and click Next. Now, I'll specify the SQL Server I want to connect to, my user ID, and password. Then I'll click the Database drop-down and choose the AdventureWorks database. If my database administrator has set up security that allows me to use my existing Windows user ID and password to connect to the database, I can leave the user ID and password fields empty and click Integrated Security. Once I've supplied everything I need to connect to the database, I'll click Finish. Now the data screen shows the name of the server I just connected to in the OLADB category. I'll expand the server name, the database name, and look for the proper database owner, in this case, Sales. I'm going to use one table and one view for my report: Sales Order Header and V Salesperson. I can select them one at a time or Control-click to select them both. Then I can click the right arrow to add them to the selected tables list, or just drag and drop them there. I'm finished connecting to my database and selecting tables, so I'll click Next. Since I added more than one table, I now need to double-check table linking on the Link screen. Notice that Crystal Reports has done a best guess at linking and automatically drawn a link line between the table and the view. Because linking isn't always this simple or obvious, these automatic links may be wrong. If that's the case, click the Clear Links button and draw correct links manually. You may also rearrange tables to better suit your linking requirements. If you find yourself changing links frequently, turn off Automatic Smart Linking on the Database tab in Crystal Reports 2008's File Options dialog box. Now that links are correct, I'll go ahead and click Next. Here, I can pick the fields I want to display on my report. I'll make sure both tables are expanded so I can see all available fields. If I'm not sure what actual data a field contains, I can select the field and click the Browse Data button to see some sample data. I can add individual fields by selecting them and clicking the right arrow, or just dragging them. For multiple fields, I'll use Control-click or Shift-click to select them and the right arrow to add them. If the fields aren't in the right order in the Fields to Display box, use the up and down arrow buttons or just drag and drop them in the right order. If I want the report to add a break when a certain field changes, I can choose one or more fields on the Grouping screen. In this case, I want to show some totals for each salesperson, so I'll add the Salesperson View Last Name field to the Group By box. If I want salespeople to appear in Z to A order instead of regular alphabetical order, I can make choices from this drop-down. I'll leave them in ascending order and click Next. The Summary screen is where I pick the totals I want for each salesperson group. Crystal Reports 2008 automatically adds number fields here and sums them. If I need to remove any of the automatically added summaries, or summarize fields that aren't automatically added, I can remove or add fields by selecting them and using the left or right arrows. In this case, I'll leave the fields here, but I want to count the sales order ID instead of summing it. I'll make that change in this drop-down. If I just want to see my top 5 or bottom 5 salespeople based on either order count or sales total, I can make that choice on the group sorting screen. Since I want to see all salespeople in alphabetical order by their name, I'll just leave this set to None and click Next. The chart screen lets me choose some simple charting options. I think I'll include a bar chart. I'll change the automatically supplied title to something more descriptive, and pick sum of sales as the chart value instead of the order count. The record selection screen is pretty important. This is where you narrow down or filter data to just the set that you need for your report. Pick one or more fields to filter on and add them to the Filter Fields box. Then select the filter field, filter type, and comparison value. I want to limit the report to orders placed in 2008, so I'll add the order date field and choose an Is Between filter. While I can browse and choose sample data in this drop-down, I'll just type in my date range and click Next. The last screen in the report wizard is the template screen. You may see a sample of each of the predefined formatting templates by selecting them. You may also use an existing Crystal report as a template by clicking Browse to find the RPT file to use. In this case, I'm not going to use a template, so I'll make sure no template is selected before I click Finish. Voila! Here's my finished report, including the bar chart and salesperson groups with order count and sales totals. Make sure you use File menu or Toolbar options to save the report when you're finished with the Report Wizard.